Do you want to learn how to do a crispy ass fade? Well, say no more. I got my boy in the chair. As you can see, he's mad dusty, so let's get straight to it. Now to start off this fade, I set my bald line around the entire head. I am only showing one side of the haircut at a time to keep it simple. This is a high drop fade, so I'm starting fairly high around the temple and dropping it low towards the back. Now I'm just coming back in with my trimmers to bald out what's underneath. I do recommend tapping a little bit at that baseline with your trimmers just to start softening up that harsh line a little bit. Now I'm just coming in with my shaver to get the bottom of the fade nice and bald. As you can see, I'm stopping right beneath the line and flicking out. You don't want to go all the way to the top because that'll create a harsh line. Now we're going to come in with no guard and our clipper lever all the way open. This will be our first guideline, so take your time creating this guideline. It can make or break the fade. I tend to flick out just a little bit when creating this line. It makes it easier to fade later on. Now once that's done, I like to close my lever about halfway, which is 2 clicks, and start inching up at that line, just coming in halfway. And I'm always taking my time, moving up in small increments because any little mistake could mess up the entire haircut. Now we're going to close that lever up fully and repeat the same process, just inching up at that line from the bottom. I tend to use my corners just a little bit to pinpoint little dark spots that are in the fade. Now we're going to grab our 1.5 guard close and make our next guideline. And with this guideline, I'm not flicking out as much. I'm mainly trying to clear the bulk. We'll fade into it later, so don't be afraid to make this guideline about 1.5 times as big as the first one. Now we're going to open up that lever fully and come in again. With the lever open, I'm really just trying to transition into the bulk on top, so I'm really exaggerating that flick out C motion. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my 2 guard and do the exact same thing, just trying to scoop out as much as I can and blend into the bulk on top. On most haircuts, I don't use anything higher than 2 guard simply because I can get anything above it with my scissors or a clipper over comb. Now I'm just going to close up that 2 guard and hit any dark spots that I left out underneath that 2 guard open. Now to hit any bulk that hangs above that 2 guard, I'm going to grab my clipper over comb, and I'm not placing the comb flat against the head, but I'm kind of angling it out, scooping out the hair and cutting any hair that's longer. Now we're going to grab our thinning shears and our comb. What I like to do is comb the hair down and then slide my comb upwards whilst cutting with my thinning shears. And essentially what I'm trying to do is soften the blend upwards and hit any bulky areas or dark spots to give that fade its gradients. Alright, so now that we've established our guidelines and smoothened out that transition into the top, it's time to detail. I find that blending down is the most forgiving way to detail a fade, which means that I'm starting with my 2 guard, then descending down to my 1.5, then to my 1, then to my 0.5, then no guard. There's literally no way to mess this up. This is the simplest way to detail a fade because you're using your higher guards as a safety net. Start cutting with your 2 guard. When it's not taking any hair, you close it up. If that's not doing anything, then descend a guard lower. And since we're detailing the fade and not redoing it, I'm really not trying to use the whole blade. I'm just using the corners and targeting any dark spots in the process. And once the detailing process is done and I can still see some super stubborn dark hairs, I'm just gonna grab my scissors and start point cutting the fade. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, I saw this tactic on Instagram one time and decided to use it. I don't know why it works so well, but it does, so I'm using it on every single haircut. That fade is looking super spiffy. I went and finished the other side of the haircut off camera just for lighting and simplicity reasons, but here I am fading out the back and connecting the 2 sides with it. I use the same exact steps, super easy, super simple, so I'm just gonna go ahead and speed up the rest for y'all. Alright, so the next step in this haircut is to connect the sides to the top. What I'm doing here is saturating the hair and then dividing it from each recession to the crown in sort of a triangle shape. I'm gonna be honest, the sectioning doesn't really matter here just because his hair is so short, but this allows me to do it just the most precise way that I can. And as you can see, I'm grabbing small little sections and just point cutting the hair. I'm grabbing the hair flat out or just slightly curved, and this is to create that little boxy shape once the hair is dry. And as a finishing touch in our haircut, I'm kind of just lining up his vertical bars and bangs. And I'm blessed to have a client that has a really sharp front line and vertical bars, but either way, the lineup makes the haircut pop even more. And wait, can we just rewind to how he looked before? Yeah, he's cooked. Now just look at that fade after. God damn. Anyways, I hope you learned something from this video. My steps are super beginner friendly and easy to follow, so make sure to implement them in your next haircut. And hey man, leave a comment if you want to see more videos like this. I'm interested to know if you actually enjoy this content, so it would really help me out. And without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.